Hello, my friends. I am going to play some Minecraft because it's Sunday. I did everything that I wanted to do. Um, I was trying to think about setting up self hosting, but then I realized I wanted like a self hosting um, audiobook kind of thing, but it's really complicated. I need like a virtual private server. And I think generally I'm going to get a NAS. I'm going to save up and get a NAS and then do that stuff. Yeah, because it's a really good idea, I think, to be in control of your own media landscape. But I just, I could do it all right now, but it would have to be all on my computer because I have only one computer. So I'd have to keep it on all the time, which doesn't seem very ecological. Anyway, let's start. Can we do this? All right, we're going to do it. We're going to do it like they do it on the bus. Okay, I switched you to move. All right, there we go. Right, so I'm going to have a time limit of 3 3 hours of streaming. So just basically going to go around this mountain and take little pieces off of it. Oh no. I'll go around like this then. And I will check the chat every time I break a tool. Like right now. Do 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 do. Also, I think I can think about my self-hosting setup more because I want to get like I'm pretty set with like television and media generally. But I want like audiobooks. Also maybe like a Minecraft server. And I read today that there's some kind of thing connected to birds that you can self-host, which seems like a great idea to me. So I'm just going to go around. Ooh, look at this. So I'm taking. I had like a bunch of things that I wanted to self-host, like music. Basically, music and audiobooks are the main thing because I really hate Spotify. And everything seems like a scam nowadays, you know? Like you don't own anything. There was a bunch of other things too, like it would be cool to have uh, my passwords not connected to Google anymore because I don't really trust them. And I also have like a place you can store music. I mean, not music, pictures. People use it to store pictures. Seems like it would be a good use for that. All right. What? Oh, I was like really confused. They have some kind of demo thing in Restreamio that shows like people commenting, and there was like 15 commenters, and I'm like, 15 people aren't watching this. And then I was like, oh, it's a demo. So I think maybe if anybody starts watching, I will turn that on. But for now, it's all right. Should have a shovel. Oh no! I knew that was gonna happen. Because yes, there's a hole there. But now I gotta walk back to the hole. Okay, I'm gonna walk up back to the hole somehow. Yeah, and I keep thinking about the self-hosting and what I want to do, and I really need to write it down. Sit down and write it down sometime. Okay, here we go. Why aren't you going in that direction? Did I go this way? I think I did go this way. Should be a hole down there, right? Yeah, there's a hole down there. That's where I fell off. Be careful here. Well, okay, this looks like it's fine. I think I'll go up to the top because it's kind of boring to go around. I need like some kind of feeling of accomplishment, you know? How do we get to the top from here, though? Well, it's a very good question. I'm just gonna like make stairs for myself. Yeah, but I'm very happy that yesterday I got rid of all of the dirt. Most of the dirt on the mountain. So now I just need to get, ooh, broke, broke something. So I'll check the chat. Nobody's watching. Nobody wanna feel like, I wanna feel like nobody's watching me. No, no, no. All right, here we go. Here's the top that I was looking for. All right, so basically I'm just going to be doing this for the rest of the stream. I know, very exciting. Be cool if there was like a language app that you could self-host. And you might be wondering, like, what's the point of self-hosting rather than just paying some service? Well, I think if you pay a service, then you're the product, even if you pay. They used to say, like, oh, if something is free, you're the product. But you're the product even if you pay. You know, because you have things like Netflix that have ads on them. Movies have ads on them. Corporations are tracking you all the time. So it'd be good to have something that is unique and independent. I wanna feel like something watching me. No, no, no. So I started this today earlier in the morning because I couldn't really sleep and I had some projects that I wanted to do, but I needed to wait until things were a little bit further on in the morning to make some noise. So I was playing Minecraft. And this mountain was as high as that one over there because the mountain has two peaks. And this one was a little bit higher than the other one, but as you can see, it's a lot easier at the moment to get rid of because it's quite solid. I think the next level, there's gonna be more holes, so that's gonna cause some problems. But we will deal with that issue when we get there. Yeah, having my own Minecraft server would be cool. I saw also that there's this big push connected to the Stop Killing Games movement. And it was some company. It wasn't Microsoft, which owns Minecraft, but it was some other company, and they were saying that if you have private servers for games like Minecraft and I think Call of Duty, that's piracy, which is weird because you need to have the game to play on the servers. So you could get it through illegal means, but like I don't think people do that. It's just easier to buy it. Like, and for example, I have bought maybe 5 or 6 times the price of a Minecraft game over the years. So, because I had a Realms server for my kids that they never used, and they had it for like 3 or 4 years. So I was paying like a subscription like Netflix to Microsoft for Minecraft. So, and I would say that most people who play Minecraft are like that they've bought it multiple times for different platforms. So saying that people who play Minecraft are pirating is crazy. And then somebody made the argument like, if you're playing, and I don't know how true this is because I'm not very technical, even though I want to start self-hosting stuff. I'll learn. But anyway, somebody made the argument that when you are playing like I'm playing now, like single player, it's also a server that's set up because your friends can play with you, right? So kind of odd. Getting some rhythm here. It's like, do I want to go outside? It's raining. Not really. One week this month, I need to go to work 4 times because generally we have work from home, but it's 2 days a week, which is so ridiculous because it's supposed to be about like collaboration. But it's not about collaboration. It's about the fact that you rented a very expensive office space and people can actually work from home. But you want the prestige of having a huge office space. Yeah. because I was telling you yesterday that I was at the office once and there was this woman who, like, she wasn't happy, but her not happy sounds sounded exactly like her happy sounds, if you know what I mean. So it's like, okay. And then usually there's five conversations going on that you can perfectly hear. Well, it's not great. Not great at all. I think my pickaxe broke and I didn't check the chat. I'll do that now. No one's watching me. What else can I say? Oh, my son and I were watching Canada lose in the World Cup. And I was thinking, like, it was 2-0 for Morocco at the end. And I was like, oh, Canada's not playing that bad. They can be proud of themselves. They score a goal. And my son's like, Dad, they're playing bad. And the sad part about that is that actually it's a big success for Canada to be in the round of 16. They've never done that before in the World Cup. And I think generally they were in the World Cup this year because they were hosts. So you kind of get that privilege. So it's not very likely that Canada is going to repeat this feat anytime soon. So people should be proud and happy about it. And I think probably statistically being 16th in the world in football is probably more impressive than being second in the world in hockey, because much more people play football and a smaller percentage of those people who play are actually Canadians. So Cal, what are you doing? So I think it's an impressive feat. Oh, I think there's a hole here. Yep. Also, their uniforms were pretty cool. They didn't really scream Canada, though. Because they were all black with a tiny, tiny little maple leaf. Which is something they've been doing lately, like trying to make black a Canadian color. I guess it's because, there's lots of countries that have red and white. But black? I think they should go like crazy and it should be purple. You know? What country has purple in their uniforms? None, as far as I'm aware. Look, cow, I don't understand why you're up here. This is dangerous. Cows in Minecraft. Calmly scaling cliffs. No, I'm not going to try and hit you. But I might hit you accidentally. Also, I like how the llama leash can just go through a solid block of stone. That's Minecraft logic for you. I don't understand why my construction area is so popular. I don't know why people love to step on my construction area. Like cow. Like, it's like everybody. Cow, pig. Surprised there's not a wolf up here. I beg your pardon. I never promised you a rose garden. I'll beg your pardon. So Ashley, who's not here, maybe she's still here, says, "Hey, I love your stream. You seemed very chill, so I stopped to say hi. I stream too. Follow me if you want to follow back, please." I don't know about that. I think following back is kind of dumb because you should only want people who are going to actually watch your streams. At least that happens with YouTube. Probably the same with Twitch. But it's nice to get a different comment, so thank you, Ashley. This is very chill. Like, guy. Like, what are you doing? Like, what? Who would do that? Who would just walk in front of a person who was like destroying blocks of stone? Like, let's walk in front of him. Surely he wants to buy something right now. It's raining. It's raining tacos under the sky. Hold on, I need to move this a little bit. Yes. So we can see my inventory. I think I'm gonna run out of chests. This kind of reminds me of because I'm in a palace and my bed is not in the palace. So I was thinking I should put my bed in the palace. Maybe get some furniture and stuff. Put it in there. Wow. That is actually a lot of stuff. Now I got AI streamers, viewers, AI viewers. Why would I want AI viewers? Don't understand why I would want that. I think Ashley was a bot too. I beg your pardon. I never promised you a rose garden. Nice relaxing Sunday afternoon. Trying to find a way to hold my head that didn't hurt. Something about a Sunday makes a body feel alone. I don't really feel that alone, even though I am alone. Mr. Christopherson. Actually quite relaxing. I wonder what takes longer, the stone or the dirt. And I think that surprisingly the dirt might take longer because the stone is naturally exposed now, so I can just go around and around it. You take it out to the bottom and you put it on top. Your I was trying to sing the Jenga song to the tune of Helter Skelter. You take a block from the bottom and you put it on top, and you stop and you turn and you go for a ride till you take till I kill you again. Yeah, yeah. Don't you want me to make you coming down fast, but don't let me break you? I said, come on, tell me you may be a lover, but you ain't no dancer. Helter skelter. You have any? I'm taking requests. So if you have any requests, I'll sing it badly. Should probably go over here, like get rid of that one, yeah. I think though the levels are just getting bigger and bigger, so the layers, maybe not levels. I'm kind of worried that I'm gonna run out of chests. But I think if I run out of chests, because a lot of them are filled with dirt, I will just get rid of the dirt. Because I'm trying to make the ocean flat, and I'm going to use all of this material to build houses and make like a big city. Blame it on the rain. Yeah, yeah. And the rain don't care. So yesterday I was talking about how I didn't think the UFC event on the White House lawn was that much of a big deal. But apparently it ruined the grass, and Donald Trump has just completely destroyed what the White House looks like, which is crazy because he's gonna leave, right? Like, even let's say that he pulls off a coup d'etat and like he stays in power. I think he's a bit too incompetent to do that, but let's say that he does it. How long is he going to stay there for? Apparently, there's like a rose garden, and there was a rose garden, famously, and he pulls it up so that he can have like a concrete patio, which is why? Why? Oh, it's a little puppy. Hello. Hello, little puppy. Let me check the chat. We're still at 2 comments. right, down I go. Okay, not that way. Yeah, there's a hole there. So I think it kind of goes in that direction. I need more tools. um, hmm, okay, I need more sticks though. Oh. Where's the wood? There's the wood. Okay. 40 sticks. I want 64 sticks, though. All right, now I got 64 sticks and oh, 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 ow, ow, ow. I just had a problem that men will understand. I was sitting too long in one particular spot, and then I realized that it was crushing something. I beg your pardon. I never promised you the rules curved in. Yeah, maybe we'll do it like this. Okay, I'm making progress here too. Granite. I need granite because it's going to be my road building material. Have to do this anyway, so might as well get it out of the way. Ooh, copper. More granite. Should I really be trying to get all this granite? How common is granite? I don't know. Okay, I need to like limit myself. What's that? Oh, it's just different light. But the copper I should get, right? Okay, I've come this far. I'm going to get all the granite in this vein of granite. Then we're just going to strip mine this area. I'm not sure what the way up is, though. So much granite. We are almost in the second hour. Of my quest for granite. I mean, I am doing what I was doing, but got distracted with the granite. Okay. I need to make a rule that I'll only take like the layer below. And then if I need more, I'll just mine for it. Because clearly there's enough granite for my plans, right? Probably. I don't know. Also, I can just leave that and come back when I'm mining more granite. Okay, I gotta turn off the light. I mean, shut the blind because there's a glare. Which I will do now. Oh, that's not what I wanted to do. The window is fine open. Oh, now I can see. New memory for me. I got a new phone and all of the notifications are absolutely on. Also, it said, "Oh, you need to update the phone because of all these system things." So I updated it and restarted it as you do, and I noticed that because it's like a black view, and I think all Chinese phones have this. I'm not sure if this is like for all companies, but generally when they do an update, they give you like their crappy apps. So basically it's like AI video, $100 a year. AI music, $100 a year. Like, who's gonna pay for that? It's a bit crazy, in my opinion. I don't know why this gives me more of a feeling of accomplishment than going from the top. I don't know. I think the top is probably more effective because you're doing more at one time. But I don't know. At least this way I get to travel. Yeah, I need to get as much copper as possible because I think I will need a lot more of it. Here we go. Do 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 do. Do 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 do. These are a few of my favorite things. All right, I know what happened because I got to this one point over there and there's like a lake, an underground lake. So it was hard to go around. But I can just go in the opposite direction. Yeah, that's a good idea. Ooh, andesite. Or diorite, actually. It's not andesite. That's the other. Oh! I need to get those. That's the other thing that's going to be in my road, so I need to keep that uncovered. Oh, did not realize that there was still dirt over here. Oh well. My pickaxe keeps getting stuck. Because I think my mouse button is sticking for some reason. Which is crazy because my mouse is not super expensive, but it's not super cheap either. Yeah, I need shovels. Which I have actually. How did I miss that? I went around the other day. I guess maybe because it's hidden a little bit. No. Okay, I gotta drop everything off. I need shovels though. Yes, I know. Okay, I'm going to take 4. I'm going to take the rest of the shovels and so yes. My mouse is not being very responsive, as I mentioned. No. Ooh, lapis lazuli. Ah, why does it keep sticking? Ah. Actually, I'm going to go and get the thing. All right, now I can. Putting some dirt down. Putting it in the wrong place. Here in the land of a puppy. There's the puppy. All right. There's more lapis lazuli. I don't even know what that's used for in Minecraft, to be honest. All right. Getting some dirt. Thought I was done this. Urge. Keep thinking maybe I didn't save yesterday. I think maybe I just didn't notice this part. Wonder if my shovels are enough, though, to finish. Yeah, this is more than I thought there was. And the magpie's going crazy. Oh, hold up. Okay, a little bit of better control now. Okay, never mind. The control is not great. The magical mystery tour is coming to take you away, coming to take you today. I'm focused. I'm intent. I have a lot of dirt to shovel. When I thought I was done shoveling dirt. Listen, Wolfie, I guess gonna stare judgmentally, or are you gonna lend a hand or a paw? This is a lot more dirt than I expected. Can't believe that I missed this section entirely. Oh, yes, Wolfie, I think that I'm almost at the bottom. Da, 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 da. Check in the chat. Oh, nice. Thank you. Low Gunk says, just finished. Should we keep birds as pets? Video was a good watch with solid takes. Thank you. Thank you very much. I appreciate that. How you doing, Low Gunk? I am a bit frustrated because I thought that I was done with all of this dirt. But no, the dirt haunts me. Yeah, I thought I'm really interested in birds, as I said in the video, and I think a lot of people keep birds as pets, and I think that there are some good reasons to keep birds in captivity, like you're kind of recovering, or I think I mentioned pigeons are the only birds that can naturally be good pets, because basically they'll you keep them outside and they decide if they want to come back or not. And if they come back, they like the situation, and if they don't come back, they didn't like the situation. But if you have parrots or something, that's a bit problematic. One, because generally people can't provide the conditions that they need. Like, their flight muscles get really weak because they can't fly around. And I heard like somebody make the argument, well, birds don't prefer to fly. And it's like, yeah, I don't prefer to run, but my mouse stuck again. I don't prefer to run, but if you remove my ability to do so, you're kind of like making life more difficult for me. Oh no! My inventory's full. So I gotta put the dirt somewhere. Not there. But I appreciate that somebody watched that video. It's very nice. Do 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 do. So I'll check the chat when my shovel breaks, or whenever I get rid of this stack of dirt, which will be now. Ooh. Logunk is from South Florida. He says he's an amateur, or she is an amateur bird watcher myself. Lots of variety here in South Florida. Yeah, that's like a dream, because I would like to go back to North America for some bird watching. I'm originally from North America, but I live in Europe now. And it's weird because, Europeans and people who don't grow up with, for example, cardinals will be like, oh my God, it's a cardinal. That's crazy, because, it's a bright red bird. Meanwhile, if you grow up with it, you're like, what's the big deal? So there's lots of European birds that people kind of go wild over, but like Florida is, because you have, I guess, tropical birds and birds from more temperate climates as well. So cool mixture, I would say. My mouse sucks. What is it doing? It has a mind of its own. This is like, I think maybe I did something with the settings accidentally, but I'm not sure what I did. Okay. I'm only going to use um, this one shovel because I don't have any sticks. Ah, ah, ah! Come on. We are not trying to shovel the cobblestone. We are trying to shovel the dirt. The dirt is what we are trying to shovel. Ah. Okay. Kind of some layers. Mm-mm-mm. So, Logunk, what is your dream lifer? Like a lifer is a bird that you haven't seen yet. For those of you who don't know anything about bird watching. I would say that mine, I don't know, it's really cool birds to see. Like, it would be cool to go to Mexico and see macaws in the wild, or African gray parrots in Africa. That would be cool. But I think here, I haven't seen like the more like bigger birds of prey. I've seen like buzzards, which I think in North America are vultures, but here there are kind of like hawks, which is weird naming convention. But yeah, they kind of fly around city parks. I've seen one or two. But in August, I'm going with my kids to this like nature preserve, which is like the last primeval forest in Europe. Oh no, no, no! Ugh. What was that, Mr. Shovel? What was that? Trying to use up all these stacks of dirt so I can go back and collect the other dirt. It's not even like I'm touching it because I'm like lightly clicking on it and then it sticks. Brr. 14. Maybe I'll just get rid of this one. Ooh. Maybe I will get rid of that hole. That seems dangerous. All right. Ooh, okay. So Logrunk said a lot of stuff. Logrunk says, can't blame you. I'd flee to Europe as well if I had the means to do so. What did I do? Now so he says I go up to, what's going on? I'm trying to show, okay, I'm showing this. Okay, it is showing on the screen now. So I go up to Canada every now and then to cool off, but other than that, I haven't done much traveling. Not sure if I can choose just one. This is about the question about the lifer. But off the top of my head, probably a Dracula parrot. Ooh, I haven't seen a Dracula parrot, I think. I don't know what that is. Dracula parrot. Oh, wow. That's crazy. So it's kind of like a gray parrot, but it's got like this red. I mean, you can see it on the stream, but that's crazy. They're endemic to the island of New Guinea. That's a cool choice. That is a cool choice. I have to agree with you there. What did I say? Like a bird of prey? Okay, I want to get this. Can I? What's going on? Ah, my computer. Don't show that. No. Because you're not supposed to show both that you have YouTube. But I mean, only one person's commenting, so I trust you guys. As long as it's just from Twitch, I guess. So I'll keep it there. Dracula parrot, that is cool. Didn't even know that existed. Which, Jesus Christ! My computer, sorry that I said that. My computer is got a mind of its own. Now the keyboard was doing something funky. Gonna go over here. I think I did know that the dirt was over here. Now that I think about it, I saw it before. So thank you, Grunk, for that great bird. That really made my day. Dracula parrot. That's cool. I wonder if they is it just because of the color that they're called Dracula parrot? Probably. Like they wouldn't be like a blood-sucking parrot. Although if they were, that would be pretty hardcore. I think I was joking with my son the other day, about how you wouldn't want to have blood-sucking birds because that would be terrifying. You're just sleeping and then you get stabbed with his beak. All right, here we go. Wow. The shovel lasted. Great. Now I can go back to what I was doing. But first, I'll check the chat again. I don't know what I did with your comment. Okay, now everything's going wild, so I need to turn that off. All right, so we have 2 viewers, which is great. We are almost entering the 3rd hour of well, 2nd hour, I guess, of streaming. So and I'm trying to get rid of this mountain. Ah. Do, do, do. Yeah, Canada's probably pretty good for bird watching too. And it's funny because I wasn't into bird watching when I was living in Canada, but I was living next to this place called Point Pelee, which is really good for migrating birds because basically during the winter and the spring and the fall migration, they're either going north or going south. And it's an island in the middle of Lake Erie. So they'll be flying over the lake and they'll get tired and they'll like stop to take a rest. So apparently you can see very unique species because, you know, like a lot of birds will just fly over places when they're migrating and you might be able to hear them, but you won't be able to see them. But there you can see them, apparently. So people take these bird safaris from all around the world to go there. And I mean, I knew that it was good for bird watching when I was living there, but I didn't know how important it was in the whole world scale of bird watching. I have an idea to fix the mouse. So 1 second. I'm going to try that now. And I'm going to... Yeah, I'll answer your comments in a moment, but I'm going to camera for one moment because I'm going to put my Okay, I'm back. What? What? No, there's okay. I thought that was gonna help, but it did not. Everything is broken now. Okay. All right. Everything's working now. Oh, the mouse is much better, but now I can't connect to the camera. Oh, I'm connected to the camera. Okay, weird. So Logunk says of the old screaming troubles, I've no help there. You can say his name in vain all you like. I'm not the religious type. You know, I'm not also, but I also don't want to like offend people unnecessarily. Now that you mention it, though, some other lifers of mine would probably be the great-eared nightjar, or perhaps the blue-eared kingfisher. Yeah, nightjars are cool. Those are like those crazy birds that open up. They're like go like that. I have to show the stream what I mean. Nightjar. Okay, they're not showing the weird thing. Yeah, they got like crazy heads. Oh, that's what I meant. That one. Huge mouths. Yeah. Yes. We were very close to Detroit. And in fact, when I was growing up, there was like huge controversies about which hockey team to support. You know, whether you supported the Red Wings or the Blue Jays, of course. Blue Jays, Jesus. Again, I did it again. Maple Leafs. I think they're going to take my passport away. Although I did say a Canadian team, just not the right sport. Yeah, and a lot of people, speaking of the Blue Jays, a lot of people would not support the Blue Jays because we were really close to Detroit. And we went to like a few ball games in Detroit growing up. I need to get rid of one of these pickaxes because I need to pick up those cobblestones before they all disappear. Okay, here we go. Picking these all up. Okay, and now I'm gonna... Oh, but it's so wonderful that the mouse works. That's great. Where are nightjars from? Are they from North America? Probably like Australian. That would be my dream, to go bird watching in Australia. Because they have like, not just birds, of course, but they have like really wild and crazy wildlife, like platypuses and things like that. So that would be cool. and seeing parrots. Like, what are the cockatiels? Seeing like cockatiels in the wild, because apparently they just come up to people's houses on their balconies and stuff. Or like, Australian magpies. I mean, we have magpies here, which are probably pretty interesting for people who don't have magpies. But if you have magpies, they're so loud all the time, all the time. Kind of lost the direction of where I'm going here. Okay, now I can see. Kind of. So much dirt. All this bird talk got you thinking about the blue jays. Yeah, that's a cool bird. Blue jays are cool. We have like Eurasian jays, which are not as cool because they're kind of like brown and they make this awful sound. So, what brought you to Europe? Work, family, a longing for adventure? It's kind of a long story, but I can tell you the short version, which is I have a friend who is from here, and we met a long time ago because we were pen pals when that was a thing that people used to do. So she's like, hey, why don't you come visit me in the summer and then I can visit you the next summer? So we did that. And then I was traveling around while I was like working as an English teacher in South Korea, and I had saved up a lot of money and I didn't really know what to do with my life. Then she's like, hey, why not come and visit me for Christmas? So I visited her for Christmas and we were talking about my future. And I'm like, I really don't know. And she's like, oh, why not teach English here? And I'm like, I don't know. So I put in some resumes. I think there was like five. I have five different language schools, and they all called me after Christmas. So I'm like, maybe I will stay here. And then it took me so long because um, this was shortly after Poland. I live in Poland. Joined the European Union. And so it was very bureaucratic for a Canadian to come to Poland. I mean, it's more now, but it took me like a year to be able to get a visa to work legally. So after that, I was teaching, and then I met someone, and I just stayed here. We have a family. I mean, we still have a family, but we're divorced, and I have two kids, and they are now 14 and 17. So time really flies. You got your passport. That's good. Your Canadian passport or like just a passport? Are you like Canadian American? I'm right there with you with the no clue about the future part. I'm trying to find my footing every day. Yeah, yeah. My daughter, she's like freaking out about her future because she's 17 and like next year she'll be 18. So here we have like this big exam at the end of high school. It's called like the Matura exam, which means maturity or matriculation exam. So she's like, oh, I need to find out what to do with my life because um, you know, that's the time when people say you should figure it out. But I think you don't really ever figure it out. You just kind of do things that you want to do that are interesting. Yeah, yeah, yeah. It's not a bad thing that we got divorced. It was kind of necessary. Dual citizen though, that's interesting. So Canadian and American? So did you watch the World Cup? Are you watching the World Cup? Because both countries are doing really. I mean, Canada got eliminated yesterday, but 16th in the world is pretty good for Canada in the World Cup. And the USA is doing really well as well. Not that I'm a big football fan, but also, I hope you're not a hockey fan because that, and if you're like dual citizen, Canadian and American, and you're a hockey fan, well, maybe that's good because you'll always be happy no matter what happens because uh, famously, the Canadian men's team lost to the United States in men's hockey in the Olympics this year. And the Olympics is kind of like the World Cup for hockey, if you don't know. Um, and the women also lost to the Americans. So I guess if you were a hockey fan, you got the best of both, unless you really root for one or the other. What is this? What am I doing? What is this? Oh, but I already cut it off. Oh, I should get rid of this. All right, I'll check the chat after I get rid of this pickaxe. Live near the airport and they just heard plane. But where we used to live, the planes would like literally fly over the apartment, which equal parts terrifying and cool. Itch. Do, 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 do. Why aren't they floating? Maybe I just filled up my inventory with the rock, with the... Yeah, I think I just did. All right, let me check the chat. So Logung says, I've been watching it on and on about the World Cup. Funnily enough, I'm from Miami. I've been torn watching it all unravel. Man, I'm only 22, and everyone tells me I'm still so young and that I have all the time in the world, but I can't help but feel like I'm running out of time. I'm not getting any younger, damn it. I think I understand why people say that to a 22-year-old, but I also understand your perspective because you always feel like you don't have time. But I think the weird thing about time and life, might sound a bit strange, but life is both really, really short and really, really long. Like, you'll be surprised at how long it is sometimes, and you'll be surprised about how short it is because it's kind of like short for the good things and long for the bad things, if that makes any sense. You know, also, of course, not everyone gets the same amount of time. We think we have like infinite amount of time. Like I know I feel that way, but I I'm going to turn 50 in September. So, I don't know where the time went. Like how did that happen? 50. All right, I'm going to put these in my chests. I think sometimes Minecraft really mirrors what's going on with the weather because here it's dark and it's raining. But like if you want to, you can come up with a plan somehow to travel at least to see Europe, to see if it's a place you want to be, or there's a place in Europe you want to be. And if you're from Miami, you probably speak Spanish, so Spain is a really nice country. All right. Can put the shovel back. So all that mountain was covered in dirt. And I got rid of all of the dirt and I'm going to make the entire thing flat, which just goes to show you can accomplish whatever you want to in life, even if it's really ridiculous. I'm going to walk back to where I was working and then I will check the chat. It's a long walk, as you can tell. And I'm going to build like an entire city here. Everything's going to be flat. All right. All right. So Logunk says Felt super long growing up. After 20, though, it feels like I blink and a year goes by. True. And it doesn't get any better, unfortunately. 50, I wouldn't have guessed you're older than 40. Like, look, look. A gray beard, literally. Lots of my family went gray early, though. So, so I have a bad frame of reference. Yeah, yeah, yeah. I was looking at a picture of myself from only like a year ago or two, and the beard had like white flecks, but it's turning white entirely, which makes me look older than I am actually. But yeah, that's another cruel thing of time. All right, I'm going to check the chat when I um use up this pickaxe. So I guess my question would be like, what do you do then? Like, do you work? Are you in school? What would you like to do? Also, it's kind of unusual that and it's not a bad thing, but I would say, at least here, the stereotype is that when you're older, you do things like fishing and bird watching. They're like old man hobbies, unfortunately. Although I have a friend who is, think she's going to turn 30 this year, and I got her interested in bird watching. So I don't think it's actually connected to your age, but that's the stereotype. And I just noticed that I was using 2 pickaxes, so all right. But when the mouse works, it's a lot easier to play this game. That's for sure. Right. I'm locked in. Oh, my pickaxe just died. So, Logung says, getting back to hockey though, my mom's side is mainly from Detroit and Windsor. So, growing up, I had an earful about the Red Wings, the Maple Leafs, and the Florida Panthers. My mom and grandpa are huge into the Panthers and had season tickets for the longest. They were thrilled to see them beat the Oilers last year. I was not. Because why can't Canada win the Stanley Cup? Uh, although I don't know how long your uh, grandparents, your mom and your grandpa have had tickets to the Panthers for, but when I was growing up, the I think that was the year that they came into the league. I want to say 1996, but I might be wrong about that. But anyway, one of their starters was John Van Beesbrook, who was a goalie, and my geography teacher and him went to high school, so kind of had a connection with the Panthers from the early days when they were throwing the plastic rats on the ice. Um, as of right now, this is about my question about what do you do? Not much. Last day of work was on June 15th, and since then I've been living off of savings and the goodwill of others, thinking I may take some time to myself and travel for a month or two. So, yeah, if you have the time, why not? I've got a buddy in Vietnam who's willing and eager to house me as long as I try all the local food. I might take him up on the offer. Yeah, yeah, definitely. Local food in Vietnam sounds delicious. Ugh. Also, technically, I'm an Ottawa Senators fan, and I never really liked Matthew Kachuk, but not anything personal or anything. But now they decided that they both are going to play for the Panthers. Canadian teams just can't get a break. But the Oilers just, I guess, signed Anderson, so maybe like just give Connor one Stanley Cup. And that's all that we want as a nation, and make it in Canada. That would also be nice. Then I think American teams could win the next 50 Stanley Cups as they have since 1993. I somewhat got myself here in a situation where I'm doing a lot of work in one area that I didn't plan on doing, but oh well, it needs to be done. I've never been to Vietnam before. A lot of people from work, though, they do this thing where they take a month off and they travel through Asia. Which seems like a nice idea. I went too far there. Oh, I thought there was a giant hole there. Which is weird because it's a game, but I am scared of heights. So whenever there's like a big hole, I'm like, oh no. Because I'm playing peaceful, but you can die in peaceful. I did it today, so it's possible. Although I have keep inventory, so I don't need to worry about that. So Logunk says, when I was younger, I didn't know much about hockey. I just loved the Red Wings and Panthers logo, rocked the jerseys and all. I mean, if we're talking about that logo, that's probably one of the best logos in hockey, I'd say. I don't remember what their current logo looks like. I think it's more classical Florida Panthers. Yeah, like look at that one. This is probably more realistic, but yeah, that's cool. And the Red Wings, of course, if you're a hockey fan, you know, like, but oh, we should be more specific. Yeah, like that. That's also like a crazy logo. So good. Like their whole uniform looks great. Yeah, but I remember growing up and there was like a favorite hockey team. And as I said, most people chose the Maple Leafs, but I wanted to be contrarian because I really liked Pavel Bure. So I was like, oh, I will like the Canucks. And that year I made that decision. They went to the Stanley Cup final where they were beaten by Mark Messier and the Rangers. South Asia, East Asia is dirt cheap after all. Can't really blame them. That's true. Speaking of heights, I plan on going skydiving soon. Pretty exciting. Yeah, that's great. If you, why not? Although it reminds me of a story. So when my wife and I were still together, she would go on these, I mean, she still does, but she would go on these training kind of things because she was learning to be like a personal coach. So she went on one and there was some kind of contest, and the contest was skydiving lesson, right? So we're talking about this at the breakfast table, and my daughter is like overhearing it. And so basically, like, my wife is like, my ex was like, oh, should I go? And I'm like, if you want to, you can go. I don't see any problem with that. And then my daughter is listening to this conversation and she's like 3 or 4 and she's like, what skydiving? So we explain what skydiving is. And she's like, I don't want you to go, mommy. And she's like, well, why not? And she's like, I don't want you to die. It's like, okay, wow. That was an interpretation, certainly. Um, so then later, when my daughter wasn't around, we had a conversation and she's like, do you think I should go? And I'm like, yeah, if you want to, you can go. Just maybe don't tell our daughter that you went. And she did end up going. And she didn't die. I can't think of any extreme sport that I would really want to do. Like when I was younger, I think snowboarding got really popular. So my cousin and I, we wanted to go like snowboard down a sand dune because that looked really fun. But apart from that, like bungee jumping, no. Skydiving, no. Maybe like driving a race car or something, that would be fun. But as long as I had like there was some guy next to me who could control the brakes, who knew what they were doing. Oh no! Speaking of knowing what I was doing, I guess we're just gonna have to live with that. Where's the water coming from? All right. Checking the chat. Says he got worse odds getting to a car than you do jumping out of a plane. Only difference is that it's a bit hard to get out of a pickle if something goes wrong skydiving versus a car wreck. Is that true? I mean, I don't know. I believe you, but it seems like the statistics for plane crashes was when you're actually in the plane and not when you jump out of it, but who knows? But I'm sure the people really need to be like super trained to do that, right? Haven't tried snowboarding yet, only skiing. One of the funnest things I've ever done. Yeah, skiing. Super fun. But honestly, I've only been cross-country skiing. All right, let me get into the groove. Not sure what the clay is for. I really don't know what any of these materials are used for in Minecraft. I've been playing thousands of days, but I've been doing mostly this kind of stuff. In Minecraft time, of course. Although I've been playing for about a year. Don't have any shovels. Because I need all this sand. Because I'm also building a pyramid out of sandstone. And the lovely thing, well, actually, that's why I prefer peaceful, is because you actually need to harvest all of your resources and you just can't build what you want. Probably you could hear the magpie. Because they have, like, it's the season where the young are getting out of the nest. and they still want food from their parents, but their parents don't want to give it to them because they need to learn how to fend for themselves. So they make like this atrocious sound, which, like, if I was a magpie parent, I would murder my child if they sounded like that because it's like meow, 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 all the time, 24 hours a day. Meow, meow. So where did you go skiing? Da, 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 da. I think I made it halfway around the mountain. Oh, I was wondering when this was going to happen. Because there's a lake here underground that was covered up by the that's terrifying. Look into the deep. Yeah, so basically there was dirt here, and then I like got rid of the dirt, so now you can see the underground lake. The sun came out again in Minecraft and in real life. And this is a lot of blocks to break. Of course, I say that like somebody else is forcing me to break these blocks. Completely my choice. No one to blame but me. Another plane. says. Happened. Okay, I stopped streaming, sharing for some reason. But anyway, Logung says, I more so mean in terms of a car accident than a skydiving accident, I feel. Yeah. Why can't I can't scroll. It's this site. And he says, I've been playing Minecraft on and on since I was on and off since I was about 8, probably one of my top favorite all time. Just a little resort somewhere in Kitchener. Wasn't anything crazy setting wise, but I had a blast. Kitchener. Oh, your mom is from there. You don't have to say where she's from, but probably I've been there because that's exactly the area I grew up a bit south of there. Kitchener. Crazy, crazy, crazy. Okay. Now, why is it not sharing anything? Let me try to share. Okay. It tells me that I'm not sharing anything. Okay. Is that working? Feel like it is. All right. I'm going to stream about 18 more minutes until 4. Must be about sometime in the morning in North America, I would say. I don't know when. But I'll check the chat the next next time I break a shovel. The only thing that comes to my mind about Kitchener is like, and maybe you were in Collingwood where you were skiing. They might have another ski resort near there, but I think that's the major one. Yeah, but the only thing that comes to mind about Kitchener is this kind of interesting, I don't know if it's interesting, but some trivia that Kitchener used to be called Berlin, but during the First World War, they felt that that wasn't a very patriotic name because Canada was part of the British Empire, so they named it after the Lord of the no, Churchill was the Lord of the Albemarle Treaty. It's a hard word to say. Lord of the Navy was Churchill, but Lord Kitchener was generally the leader of the army, the British Army in World War One. But I think he ended up being like a war. Like, what did Lord Kitchener do that was so bad? Probably something bad, because we're talking about the yeah, we're talking about the British Empire. Lord Kitchener, British Secretary of State for War. His involvement in the Second Boer War. What did he do in the Boer War? He won Sudan. Oh yeah, yeah. Concentration camps. So I'm not sure the name change to that guy was the best choice, but they were very pro empire back then. And Berlin at the time hadn't done anything that bad, apart from invade Belgium. Well, it's probably good that they did change it because there are so many places in Canada that are named after other places. So then when you're talking about those places, people are like a bit confused, like London, Ontario. Like London, Ontario is not really in competition with the main London, but it's an important enough city that it should have its own sort of identity, you know? So they should probably rename that, but what are they going to name it to? I don't know. Tecumseh or something. Yes. Logung says, oh, there's more to the history. Could have probably guessed there were details. I've been watching this series from and the ABC, which is not American one, but the um, um, yeah, it's not the American one, but the Australian Broadcasting Company Corporation, and they do this series called "Stuff the British Stole." It's pretty interesting. And Logang says, it's like when I say I'm from Miami, no one's guessing Miami, Ohio. Everyone knows I'm from Florida. Yeah. Yeah. So it sucks if you're from Miami, Ohio. There's also like a Paris, Ontario. And there's a Paris there. I think there's something like 34 Parises or something in North America, which is crazy. Because none of those, I imagine, are like Paris. And I forget what the name is, but there's a name of some European place that um, the settlers named it after some European city, but I think it's in Texas or something like that. And so they pronounce it in a very Texas way. So it does end up sounding like a completely different place. Okay, there's another magpie making that ungodly sound. Ooh, diorite. I'm going to use the diorite for roads. Of course, Miami is probably some. Oh, what's the name of the group who lived there? It's on the tip of my tongue, but I don't remember. It's not Cherokee, is it? Maybe it was Cherokee. Seminole. Kind of sounded like a dog was barking at the magpie and the magpie was barking at the dog, which could happen. That's something that a magpie would do. They're pretty smart. All right, I think I did a lot of destruction today. Kind of reduced the mountain size by like 2%, but you know. Oh, yep, got the Seminoles as well as the Miami. And Miami, of course, was named after the Miami. Probably I'm saying it wrong. All right, my butt hurts, so I think that's a sign that I should stop streaming. But thank you very much, Logunk, for your participation. And the other person who was here, you don't need to chat all the time. I certainly do appreciate it if you do. So thank you. I wish you the best with everything, and hopefully we'll see each other again and talk to each other again down the road. Have a great Sunday, everyone. Bye-bye.